I'm Pastor Al, and I want to tell you a little story about when I was in the 5th grade. That was the year I got glasses. Not my first pair of glasses, these aren't, but anyway, I remember I was so afraid to get glasses because I was worried about how other people would see me. And so for a long time, and I made it quite a while, I would pretend to see like everyone else, even though I, definitely had no idea what was being written on the chalkboard. And I remember after kind of a long struggle, I finally, got a pair of glasses. And I remember my mom, we got out of school, we went down, I got my eyes checked, and I was given the glasses. And I remember leaving Gunderson Lutheran, that's where the eye clinic was, and getting outside and seeing the world for what felt like the first time. See, the thing about glasses is, you might think, you worry about how other people will see you. The cool thing about glasses is the big change is how you see other people and how you see the world around you. I remember coming out of Gunderson Lutheran and walking on the sidewalk and stopping beneath a big tree and just staring up at it. It was like unlike anything I had seen before, at least as far as I could remember. I remember asking my mom, what's going on with this tree? I couldn't even comprehend it. What had been just kind of a green blob before now had hundreds, maybe thousands of leaves fluttering in the wind. And I remember my mom came over to me very gently after I'd asked this kind of stupid question, right? Her son's staring up at a tree in amazement. And she said very calmly, well, you couldn't see it before, but now you can see all those little leaves. Now you can see the tree fully. In our gospel reading today, Jesus gives sight to a blind man, although it doesn't quite go according to plan, does it? Right? He does his work, and the guy says to Jesus, well, what are those things? It looks like trees are walking. The man, he doesn't understand what he is seeing. And like how my mother, heard me say this stupid comment, watching me, look like that, she doesn't abandon me. She stays with me and helps guide me through to a place of understanding, a place of a full sight. And Jesus, in our passage, does the same. He takes a second crack at the healing. And finally, this man is brought into a place of seeing the world fully. Our topic for this entire loop season has been on change. And this week, I just want to briefly talk about some of the greatest changes that we face. For people entering a place of sobriety after years of addiction or chemical dependency, and people that are entering the world after losing someone that they deeply love. Now, for both of those, it can feel like we are seeing the world for the first time, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, things that we never have had to think about, we now have to think about, right? Places that we never had to avoid or places that we never had to go, now we have to change the way that we treat and see them. For those that have entered a state of sobriety, it means evaluating every single event, every single relationship, and how what they were previously addicted to factors in. And in some of these instances, it is the end of a relationship. You have to see holiday gatherings in the light of, well, will this be a place of temptation? Will this be a place where my sobriety will be tested and I may be pulled back into dependency? It may be a time of avoiding gatherings. Getting together with coworkers at a bar at the end of the week or in someone's garage, we may have to reevaluate going there and who the factors that we're engaged with in that place. For those that are mourning someone they love, it means seeing holidays, sometimes tax season, maybe your car, home repairs in a completely different way. And where before you may have had someone to rely on, now you don't. And all of that falls, or it can feel like it all falls back on you. There was a woman in my congregation who, after the loss of her husband, remarked that in 90 plus years of living, she had never before pumped her own gas. Her husband did that for her, right? He liked to do it. And now she had to see the world. She had to see, driving a car in a completely different way. And when faced with those changes, we can say what sound like really silly statements. Questions, how do I pump my own gas? Should I really go to Christmas with the family? What if they're serving drinks there? Like my mother and like Jesus, we are called not to abandon people in those times of transition, in those moments when we ask what aren't silly questions but might seem to be silly questions. We are called to be with people through that transition as they come to a place of understanding in the world. Now, I'm always kind of confused by this gospel passage because you would think, didn't Jesus just give him his sight? Why did it only work 75%? Or is it that his sight was fully restored the first time, but his understanding of what he was seeing was not? Change brings us into a place where we have to see the world in a different way. But it doesn't necessarily bring us to a place where we will understand what we are singing. As followers of Jesus Christ, as people that are empowered by the Holy Spirit, we get to be the ones that help people come into a place of understanding in what they're seeing. A place of hope, a place of comfort and understanding, where they should not feel the pressures or the pain of the darkness that they're leaving.